Okay, welcome everyone to Star Trek Online. I am Takeshi Yamato, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
And today, we are discussing the Prometheus-Class, the third of the anti-Borg designs built after Wolf 359. This thing... The Defiant was a jet engine strapped to a go-kart. The Sovereign was the more conventional approach. This thing threw all convention to the four winds.
Remember how Locutus was rescued during Best of Both Worlds? This is essentially that taken to a new level.
Yeah. The Galaxy class could separate its saucer, and that was used to great effect. This thing... It has saucer separation on steroids. This thing has multi-vector assault mode. The saucer section splits off, and the secondary hull splits into two. So this thing is 3 ships in one, basically.
Which made it exceedingly difficult to fly around with. Which delayed its production for years.
Yeah. And when the prototype finally reached the end of its development in the late Dominion War, in the middle of the Dominion War, it was hijacked by the Romulans.
Who then decided to make their own ship out of it, but that's another story.
Yeah. But it was only through the efforts of the EMH Mark II in conjunction with a certain other EMH that made his way to the vessel from the Delta Quadrant that the ship was able to stay in Federation hands.
Of course, the Romulans still got their hands on the ship. Enough of the specs to develop their own version, the Hapax, but more on that later.
Yeah.
And now anyway, some of you are going to be looking... Housecoat Gamer, you have said that the registry code of the ship is the best way to date this ship. If this is post 359, why is the registry code in the 59K range? Well, it's quite simple. Someone screwed up.
Yeah. Anyway, in terms of stats, this is the basic Tier 5 version, and it is simple for its time. So, Tier 5 starships at the start of STO had Commander and Lieutenant Commander slots for their respective career, in this case tactical, Lieutenant slots for the other two, and an Ensign slot that varied based on which escort you chose. This one, the Prometheus, has a Science. It also has 3 Science consoles and 2 Engineering, and 4 Tactical.
There is, of course, a Vice Admiral version, which finally includes multi-vector assault mode.
Yeah. And this thing, well, it still has sort of an extra science focus with a Lieutenant Commander Science slot, but it goes whole hog on the tactical with Commander, Lieutenant, and Ensign slots. And it has 2 variants, the Cerberus and the Phoenix. And they look alright, but the basic Prometheus still looks better.
This is mostly because the boys at STO actually brought this thing up to screen specs.
Yep. Now we have... There was a fleet variant.
Which is basically just a 1 console less version of the Tier 6 fleet variant.
Yeah.
If I can find the bloody thing. These ships are not easy to find.
Yeah. There. You missed it. Back. There you go.
The Hephaestus.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah. And then we come to Tier 6.
Which finally gives us more capabilities, as well as a new console. Which
Yeah.
basically vents plasma and makes your day a living hell.
Yep. This is the Hestia class, and I like it. I like this design. I like it a lot.
It's the bastard child of a command cruiser and the Prometheus.
Yeah. And it has, I think that's a lieutenant engineering command slot. Lieutenant commander. And lieutenant commander's science, it looks like.
Yep.
And commander tactical, lieutenant tactical, and ensign uni. And that's pretty nice.
Hell of a lot more rounded than the Tier 5 version.
Yep. And then, of course, we have the best version of this one, the Tier 6 fleet. I don't think this thing has a legendary version yet.
No, it does not, and it probably never will, despite its popularity. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the boys at Space Dock are lobbying against it. After all, they don't like the Prometheus. It's dumb.
Yeah.
I, of course, just go, it's a Starfleet ship. It works. It does a job. Even if it's overly complicated to the point where it didn't enter service to fight the Borg.
Yeah.
Of course, the Prometheus finally did actually confront the Borg at Endgame.
Yeah.
The end of Star Trek Voyager.
Yep.
And it was probably the Prometheus herself, because, again, way too complicated.
Yeah. I doubt this thing entered even limited production for many, many years.
So, between the three Borg options, anti-Borg options, we have trying to kill you, too complicated to work, and simple but effective.
Yeah. Not to say this thing isn't useful. I mean, it is a decent ship, and these days it does work.
Starfleet never throws away anything that's useful. I mean, just look at the galaxy. That thing is 60 years old by the point of STO. It's still kicking.
Yeah.
Of course, we have finally reached the end of the level 40s. Tomorrow we're going into the 50s. Won't that be a wonderful thing?
Yeah.
Housecoat Gaming, signing off.